Have you ever jumped into something with pure excitement, only to walk away before it was done? Maybe you decided to learn a new language and quit after 14 days. Maybe you announced you'd write a book, bought the pens, the notebook, the desk, and the pages are still blank. Or maybe your life is full of half-finished plans, and every time you see them, a quiet guilt taps your shoulder. If any of that feels familiar, if your life is cluttered with unfinished hopes, then this story is meant for you. Because there was once a man who never completed anything he began, until one moment revealed a truth that changed his entire life. Stay with me until the very end. Long ago, in a peaceful village wrapped in green hills and narrow winding paths, lived a young woodworker named Marcus. He was 2'8", gifted with his hands, and bursting with creative ideas. But Marcus carried a heavy flaw that followed him everywhere. He could not finish what he started. His workshop looked like a museum of almosts, a chair missing a leg, a table without a top, a cabinet with open gaps where doors should be. Every corner whispered the story of a dream abandoned too soon. When neighbors asked, "Marcus, when will that bookshelf be ready?" he'd force a smile and reply, "Soon. I just need to work on one small thing first." But soon never arrived. His father, a well-known carpenter who had trained him, would step inside, survey the room, and sigh. "My son," he'd say softly, "a craftsman is judged not by how many things he begins, but by how many he completes." Marcus would agree, promise to change, and then almost immediately start something new. "This time is different," he'd tell himself. "This one will be finished." But days later, a fresh idea would appear, more exciting, more interesting, and the current project would be left to gather dust. The shame grew heavier, but the habit stayed. Each night, Marcus lay awake, surrounded by the invisible weight of unfinished work. The guilt pressed on his chest like stone. He'd stare into the darkness and whisper, "Why can't I finish anything? What's wrong with me?" One spring morning, an unexpected opportunity arrived. The mayor's daughter was getting married and wanted a special gift for her husband, a hand-carved wooden chest, elegant and one of a kind. She visited Marcus's shop, saw the beauty even in his incomplete pieces, and said, "I believe you can make something extraordinary. I'll pay well. I need it in 3 months." Marcus's heart raced. This was it. This would prove everything. He agreed instantly. For 2 weeks, he worked with fire in his soul. The chest began to take form. The wood was flawless. The carvings were stunning. Anyone who saw it said, "Marcus, this will define your career." Then one day, flipping through a book, he saw a gorgeous design for a jewelry box. "It's tiny," he thought. "I'll finish it fast and return to the chest." The small project became a bigger one. Then another idea came. Then another. 3 months slipped away like sand through open fingers. The wedding day arrived. The chest sat in the corner of the workshop unfinished. No lid, no lock. Half the carvings untouched. Marcus stood in the doorway, listening to the church bells ring far away. Another carpenter had been hired. He lost the job. He lost the money. He lost his reputation. But worse than all of it, he lost respect for himself. He collapsed onto the workshop floor, surrounded by unfinished work, and cried for the first time in years. Not because he failed once, but because he had failed the same way again and again. He stared at his hands, hands capable of beautiful beginnings but never endings, and whispered, "I'm exhausted from almost becoming someone." That evening, broken and desperate, Marcus walked to the edge of the village where an old master craftsman named Samuel lived. Samuel was famous for 2 things: flawless work and very few words. When he spoke, his voice carried decades of wisdom. Marcus knocked. Samuel opened the door, looked into Marcus's tired eyes, and simply said, "Come inside." The workshop was modest but perfect. Every tool was aligned, every surface clean. At the center sat a simple wooden stool, ordinary yet flawless. Marcus spoke with a trembling voice. "Master Samuel, I have skill and ideas, but I can't finish anything. How do you do it? How do you complete every piece so perfectly?" Samuel didn't answer right away. He picked up a small block of wood and a knife, sat down, and began carving slowly. After a long silence, he said, "Do you see this wood? Inside it is a spoon. Right now, it's trapped. My job is to remove everything that isn't the spoon." He shaved off a thin layer. "If I stop here, it's just ruined wood. Another layer. Still nothing. Stroke after stroke, patient and calm. But if I continue, if I don't stop halfway, the spoon appears complete, useful, real. He looked directly at Marcus. Every project has a dangerous middle. The beginning feels exciting, the ending feels rewarding, but the middle is dull, frustrating, and full of doubt. That's where dreams die. He held up the half-carved piece. Finishing isn't about motivation. Motivation always fades. Finishing is about commitment when excitement disappears. Samuel placed the wood in Marcus's hands. For the next 30 days, choose one project, the smallest one. Touch it every single day, even for 10 minutes, until it's done. Finish one thing. Because the person who can finish one thing can finish anything. Marcus went home carrying the wood like a promise. He looked around his workshop and chose a simple stool, barely needing a few hours. "This one," he said aloud, "I will finish." The next morning, before excuses formed, he worked for 10 minutes. Day 2, 10 minutes. Day 3, the same. On day 5, a new idea tempted him, but he returned to the stool. Some days were short. Some days stretched longer, but he never skipped. On day 12, something changed. The stool was nearly done. For the first time in years, Marcus felt pride not in starting, but in continuing. On day 18, he sanded it smooth. On day 21, he applied the finish. On day 23, the stool was complete. He sat on it. It held firm, simple, finished. Something inside him released. Tears came again, but lighter this time. He wasn't broken. He had just never learned how to finish. One project became 2. 2 became 3. The same rule every time. Touch it daily. Complete it fully. Months passed. The workshop transformed. No more graveyard-only finished work. 6 months later, the mayor's daughter returned. "I heard you've changed," she said. "Can you make that chest for our anniversary?" Marcus smiled. "Yes, and I will finish it." And he did. This story isn't just about Marcus. It's about you and me and everyone who starts with fire but stops in the middle. Finishing is not talent. It's a skill. The middle is always hard. Finished beats perfect. Consistency beats motivation every time. So choose one thing, just one. Touch it daily for the next 30 days until it's done. Because the moment you finish one thing, everything changes. If this story helped you, like this video and share it with someone whose dreams are waiting. Comment the one project you'll finish next. Until next time, start finishing.